Hello and welcome to Star 120 Philosophy with the Coastline Community College. This information is good for the fall 2011 semester. Welcome. I'm excited to facilitate and teach this course, and I hope in what follows you'll get a good grasp of what my expectations are and how to navigate through the Coastline Seaport system if you don't know how to do that already. As always, if you have a question for me, please feel free to email me at dborcoman@coastline.edu. And I'll try to respond as quickly as possible, normally within just a few hours, but it might take as long as a day. So if you have any specific questions, I plan to deal with some of them interactively in a live office session that I'll be sponsoring at least once a week, and more as needed. But more on that will follow in the announcement section of your course as the days progress. In the meantime, I look forward to making your acquaintance in the first forum, week 1, that says Introduction. Be sure to post something about yourself there and possibly reply to one of your other classmates. Remember, this is a 100% online course, so the only face-to-face you'll have is in situations like you're seeing before you now or in our synchronous virtual meeting. Take good care and good luck.
I am Katie Borcoman, your instructor this semester, and in what follows I hope you will be able to determine how to navigate the course and what the basic expectations will be. This course has only been offered 100% online for approximately 3 semesters, and throughout that period of time we have discovered new and exciting ways of making the class somewhat more intellectually stimulating. Remember, we never meet face-to-face in this component of the STAR program, whereas your English and speech courses and other STAR offerings do meet once or twice a week. We decided to gravitate to this particular method of presentation to students so that it would make it much more convenient to you. In the course of so doing, we've discovered that using multimedia and also encouraging you to engage with each other at least once a week online will produce what we hope to be a relatively robust experience in the online learning environment. If you're new to Seaport, what I have to say here probably will be of some importance. If, on the other hand, you've had other classes, then the next couple of minutes will just simply be a review with respect to how to navigate your course. When you get into your course, of course, one of the first things that you see is the navigation panes off to the left. Clicking on How to Begin will give you a generic bit of information that should be applicable to all of your online courses at Coastline Community College using the Seaport portal. One thing, of course, to do is to go to the course introduction, where you get a little bit of information about me and how to contact me, as well as information about the book that we are going to be using in the course, which is primarily this one that you see pictured before you, Ethics by Mr. Louis Poyman. Mr. Poyman is now deceased. His son took over for him, so essentially what it is a kind of a combo author package where Mr. Poyman's son, James, actually has been embellishing and adding to his father's work for the past several publications. One important aspect of this particular textbook, courtesy of your publisher, is what we call the companion website. If you go to the companion website, as we're doing right now, you can simply select a chapter specifically related to our textbook, Ethics, Discovering Right and Wrong, use the pull-down menu, and then examine each of the chapters. I recommend that you do this probably in advance of you actually reading the text, just to get an idea as to what, in fact, is kind of important about ethics and what the subject matter is that we're going to be dealing with. Some of the essay questions you're going to find that are sponsored by the publisher, under Chapter 1, for example, will appear on one of your quizzes coming up here. So that's where I did extract questions, essay, and also multiple choice questions from the publisher's website. So this is a good place to go in order to prepare for your class discussions as well as for your examinations. But I don't want to give you an impression that you're going to be able to get away with just simply going to the website itself. You will need to purchase either a new or used edition of the textbook. So now, you know what textbook you need, what the ISBN number is. Let's go to the course syllabus. Here you'll get an idea as to what the course goals are, and I'll just simply discuss a couple of them with you at this point in time. My hope is that upon completion of this course, within the next 8 weeks, that you will be able to, upon your departure, describe the fundamental ethical orientations involved in making moral judgments, employ critical thinking procedures and techniques in evaluating moral claims, engage in meaningful dialogue about moral and ethical issues that relate essentially to living what we call the good life, and of course that concept will be expanded upon as the course proceeds. Examine and evaluate moral argumentation from a philosophical perspective. Identify moral and ethical situations and the general principles that can be applied in order to understand and evaluate the relevant facts and implications. Explain the differences between the concepts of metaethics, normative, and descriptive ethics. And lastly, employ the practical side of philosophical reasoning about moral issues in which applied ethics can effectively be utilized. So I hope you get the impression that this course is really an applied ethics course. But obviously, in order to be able to apply ethical principles, it's important to get some sense of what the theoretical orientations are and what the concepts actually are as they are defined philosophically. And that gets me to another point. Ethics is taught from a philosophical perspective, and traditionally ethics is, like logic, a branch of philosophy. Here's yet another link to your required textbook by Mr. Louis Poyman. We're going to try to adhere as closely as possible to the suggested course outline here under the how the course will flow. So Chapter 1, we're going to discuss what is ethics, and as I will show you, you'll be able to hopefully be somewhat entertained and also get more information from the canned lectures that I've placed up online, most of which I've put together and narrated and also assembled from various sources. So as we proceed, we go from Chapter 1 to Chapter 2, and we pretty much try to maintain a consistency from week to week and chapter to chapter. In some cases, we have to double up on chapters. When we get to Chapter 3, you have a little bit more reading involved. That will be both Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 on moral objectivism and the quest for the good. And of course then from there we go to week 4, egoism, utilitarianism, after which we'll have a midterm examination. The midterm examination will be based upon Chapters 1 through 4. And again, you can go back to the publisher's website at the companion link and study up that way. The midterm, principally, like the final, consists of multiple choice, true, false, and a couple of essay questions which I'm constantly changing each semester just to give you a little bit of a challenge. What I look for, by the way, in essays of any sort, including at least to the minimal degree in your discussion threads, your responses to questions I posed there, is something that we call critical thinking. Critical thinking is basically the analysis, synthesis, and also evaluation of claims, whether they be moral claims or empirical claims, with an eye towards how they get justified and how they can be analyzed and properly substantiated. So when you think critical thinking, what you're really thinking about is coherent reasoning and also having a healthy skepticism about the book, about anything I say, about what somebody else says, about such and such, whatever is the case. And of course, in critical thinking, we do talk about what we call theories and facts. So it's important to incorporate a certain amount of factual understanding into an assessment, let us say, of some kind of a moral situation. That, of course, is something that's going to arise when you actually do your paper. Now, I have many, many links to, I hope, materials that will augment your understanding of what it means to do a paper for philosophy, and specifically for ethics. I have links that are all throughout the course. Some I've done, some come from other sources that I regard as extremely credible and good sources, and I think you'll find that they'll be an important source of insight and information. And don't forget, since you're part of the STAR program, there are some general guidelines and criteria, formatting and things like that, which are not excluded in the paper that you'll be doing for me. The FAQ section, of course, contains some important frequently asked questions. I'll continue to try to embellish that as I do occasionally get more FAQs as each semester proceeds. Course lesson area. This, of course, is the meat of the course, and you will see that hopefully this is kind of an outline form. When you click on the hyperlinks, it will take you to all of the resources that are available on this Seaport site, including something fairly important, and that would be lesson lectures. Now, admittedly, some things are quote-unquote canned, but you will be getting an opportunity to be able to have a discussion with me once a week. If the time that I've already selected or that I will announce isn't suitable to you, I can always set up a quick meeting on something we call Illuminate. that is sponsored by the California Community College system that allows me to be able to, on demand, set up an instant synchronous meeting. And what that means is that in addition to the discussion forums, which I'll discuss just briefly in a moment, you will also have the opportunity to be able to connect up with me live, if you choose to do so. That's entirely optional, but you may actually have a question about something that perhaps can only be answered with someone else at the other end, right there, kind of holding one's hand in cyberspace. I've begun to explore other options by means of which people might be able to access some of the information I presented to them, one of which is called SlideShare. Basically what SlideShare is yet another way of trying to provide some of the learning materials, learning objects, in a way which will be suitable based upon the technology and other items that you might be associated with as you actually surf the web. Here you'll click on an advertisement, and then ultimately what should happen is you'll be able to get to the presentation that I put up there. But mostly the presentation that is going to be, I hope, of value to you will be that which you're going to find directly in the course. And those will be in a flash-based format, such as, for example, the very first week you've got Basic Moral Orientations. When you click on the Basic Moral Orientations, what you get is a flash-based learning object, and you simply click on a little arrow, and you should not only be able to get this on a Macintosh and a PC, but also using any of the available prominent browsers out there, including Internet Explorer and also Chrome, as well as the ever-present Firefox. I have put these things up also, and I have a link that takes you directly not only to what is called an RSS feed, but also a iTunes link. So if you wish, and if you want to, as some might argue, torture yourself even more when you're driving, you can subscribe to the podcast and download these materials, either A, view them, which I don't recommend while you're on the freeway, or B, simply listen to them to your heart's content, and do as much review as you want to, and I hope that they will prove of some value to you. The lesson schedule basically extracts the main things that are going on in the course, and I do try to get in there once a week and update and check and assure that the dates are correct. Some of this did get material did get rolled over from a previous semester, but I've gone through and filtered out and added and amended as much as possible to make it relevant for this particular semester, the fall 2011 semester, which I hope you, like me, are really excited about and wish and to get started and are eager to do so. Quiz and exam information. These will appear shortly, and all you need to do probably after the first week of the course is go there, and then you'll see a list of quizzes that will become available to you throughout the semester. I don't mind if you want to go a little bit ahead and become a little bit more self-paced. I think that's partly what the attraction is in an online course. And in any case, the quizzes have been reformulated. I make them new each semester so that all of us will be a little bit more invigorated when we get involved in trying to test ourselves on the material that we've been studying. Class discussion forum. Now, this is an important area where you should go at least once a week and take a look at what the questions are. And it appears to me at the time of my making this presentation, we don't quite have anybody but in there interacting, but that's fine because we have just started the course. Make sure that you get into the week one introduction. There are actually 2 week one forums there, so I just want to learn a little bit more about you and what you're up to, and I would heartily recommend, so that we can make this class as familiar as we can and virtual as possible, that you get some kind of a picture like our student Kim appears to have done here. And I have a picture of myself, but you can put a picture, as long as it's something that is acceptable. You can put a picture of yourself. I think it's good to put some kind of a picture which maybe symbolizes what your position is, your orientation is. Let us get a feel for your virtual presence. Now, getting back to the content of the discussion forum, when you respond to a question, what I would expect is a kind of behavior, online behavior, that's very similar to what you'd get in a college classroom that was conducted face-to-face, where everybody is collegial, respectful. Remember, when you log in, the system automatically determines who it is that's logged in, so you authenticate, and we know who says what. So be nice and respectful and carefully evaluate the question and how you're going to respond to it. When you're all done, you can just simply exit the course, and you'll be in great shape. Now, the primary method of getting in contact with me is principally through email. So if you go back to the either course introduction or instructor profile, you get a little blurb about little autobiographical sketch. The telephone number is there, but most of us at the distance learning program are not sitting at our seats waiting for a telephone call. So the best way is to use the dborcoman@coastline.edu, and you should get a turnaround time within about 2 or 3 hours, certainly no more than a day. If there's an emergency, you would call Distance Learning at Coastline or leave a message. I can remotely access voicemail, but it shouldn't be necessary to utilize that technique of getting a hold of me that much. And then the other method will be, of course, during our weekly, what we propose at least to be weekly virtual office sessions, and I'll make an announcement up in the announcements section. We do have a little announcement link that usually appears at the course introduction level when you just log in. If there is an announcement, you'll see something there, but it'll probably be every Friday, 8 o'clock. I'll furnish you with a link, and then you can log in, and if you have a question, we'll take care of it. I hope that does it for now. I look forward to meeting you in cyberspace, and I wish you every success. Take good care.